The following program is a production of Naleo TV.
On today's episode, we're going to go from this to this. Please join me. Stay tuned. Aloha, welcome to my studio and welcome to The Art of Painting with Rockwood. I'm Rockwood. Today, we're going to go from this stretched canvas. It's already pre-painted with the background here. You can see it's going to be an underwater thing. I'm going to paint an octopus today, and I'm going to show you exactly how I do that. But first, for those of you who are just joining us, I want to start with a recap. My palette is always a paper plate. I take a paper towel and I fold it up. Then I take a little bit of water and I soak that paper towel really good. Then I take a sheet of wax paper and put it right on top of that. And then my paint goes on top of that. Start with my dark red, and we're going to go to my light red, not pink. Then we're going to put a little orange in there. Now notice I'm putting them all real close because I'm just going to grab the paint as I need it. I don't need to mix it here and stuff like that. I'm going to mix it right on the painting. A little yellow. I don't know if I'm going to need it, but sometimes I do put a little brown in the octopus. So I'm going to put a dab of brown there. And then of course you always have black and white for shadowing and highlights. Okay, that was getting long. All right, so now that we have that set, first thing we got to do is we got to draw an octopus. Now, I do it freehand. You can get tracing paper, you can blow it up, you can go to the printer and have them print it out for you and do whatever you got to do. But I'm going to refer to my iPad, and I'm just going to do me a little drawing here to get my octopus shape the way I want it. Put up here the bump for his eye there. That other eye is going to go like right there, and this is going to come down here. And I'm going to take the, what do you call these things? They're not talons, what the hell? They're not fins, what the heck are they called? You know, I'm really going to have to do some research so I can tell you guys what this stuff is called, because I do not know. But let's take this up and over. Now, I'm just going to do a rough sketch because, well, I've done this before, so I know exactly how this stuff is supposed to go. So let's do, I'll bring this guy kind of like this here. Real rough, and this pencil that I'm using, it's a Stabilo pencil, whatever. It's just a chalk type of thing. So when I'm done with this whole thing, I can wipe it right off with soap and water. And let's see, I'm going to spin this one back up like this. Because I like to show the arms. Okay, I'll just call them arms. How's that? I like to show the arms as they come in and out and spin around so we can see the tentacles. And see, I know what that's called. So come up like this. And you can see how that comes around here. Now, somebody pointed out one day, how come you don't draw all 8 arms on the octopus? And I said, well, if you're standing next to your car and you're looking the side of the car, you can't see all 4 wheels, can you? Well, same thing with an octopus. Just because we're looking at it like this, we can't see those other arms back there. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that means there's 3 more that are back there that are floating off that way that we don't need to see. Not important for us to see that. Okay, so there I have my absolute basic drawing of the octopus. You can see it's real rough. It's not necessarily beautiful yet. Doesn't have to be. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go in here with a little bit of red, and I'm going to put a touch of orange in there just to get going here. And let's start that like right there. The reason I do this, it's almost like a toll painting, so that I'm mixing the colors together to get that shape and the definition of the octopus. Because if you look at them, they're all wrinkly and everything. They look really cool. So because this is going to be a big painting, this is probably going to end up being 2 shows, because there's no way that I can paint this whole thing in 1 show, since we only have 30 minutes to do that. But that gives you a whole lot of time to practice this before my next painting. Then I show you how to finish this octopus. Let's go up here and go in here. Now see how I dabbed that right there? I had too much paint on the brush, so instead of going over there and wiping it, I just write it because I'm going to need that paint anyway. So now I can just blend it in here. And the way I like using that blue underneath there, see how it's a shadow already, because the blue acts as the darker color. And I'm not trying to get it absolute perfect, because like I said, their body is kind of wrinkly. I don't know what to associate it with. It would explain that, but and see, I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to get the nice shapes that make up that octopus. Now there is a blowhole kind of thing. I don't know what they use it for. I think they breathe with it, but I'm just going to take a touch of black right here, and I'm going to come in here. I'm going to make that hole right there. Now, because I just went into the black, I am going to wipe that off, because I don't want that on there. Always keep a paper towel handy so you can wipe that stuff off. Works really good. You don't have to wash it off, just wipe it off. It works fine. And then we're going to come over here. Now you can see that I'm kind of using the side of the brush right here, because it's more of a wedge kind of thing. So I can get in there and get real nice detail with that. And I'm just going back and forth to make sure I cover all that blue. That looks really good. I'm just going to take a touch of yellow and come right up here, because up here is where the sun is coming from. So you're going to put just a touch of highlight right there. And you can see how that yellow is not stark yellow. It's kind of blending in with the red and orange. Let's remember, I work wet on wet. So. It's a little hot in the studio today, so I'm sweating a little bit. But I'm gonna move this over here just a little bit. And then this. Okay, so let's refer back over there, and we're going to go like this. The octopi are very interesting creatures, and they're beautiful, and they're a lot of fun to paint because there's so much going on with them. Let's do this here like that. And I've said this on past shows, and I'll say it again. I'm not going for photorealistic. I'm going for pretty. I want when people look at this, they go, wow, I love that octopus. A little more yellow for right up here on that eye. See how much yellow I put in there? I'm just going to take that and blend it right. That's okay, we can get rid of those noises in post, right? See how I just pulled that yellow right into that, so I got a nice thinner line right there? Okay, so I'm going to take the white now. Okay, so I'm going to grab a smaller brush and a little bit of red and a hint of black. This way here I can get a little shadow under that eye right there. There we go now. Okay, so now I'm going to go grab a little bit of white. I don't want that hole to look solid black, like a big black hole, so I'm going to add a little bit of gray. And I got that gray just by mixing the white into the black. There we go, that looks good. Let's take a little darker red. Now, see, I want to separate the arm from the head, or the back of the head, so I'm just going to put a little bit of black right in here. And then I'm going to draw it right into the bottom here. Now, see how I'm doing these little tiny brush strokes on there, so that I leave a little bit of red in there, but this creates that shadow. Now I hope you notice what I'm doing is I'm working in a section. See, I get that whole section done before. A lot of people like to paint the whole one color and then go back and do something else. And it's like, why not just finish it while you're there? All right, so now we'll come in here. In case I didn't mention it, for most of this I'm using my filbert brush. That's the one that has a little bit of rounded to it. Available at any art store, hobby store. Not that we have a lot of those here in Hawaii, but let's see, that looks like take a little bit of yellow just to come in here and create that separation between the two. Cool. All right, now, before I get too far ahead of myself, what I'm going to do, this arm right here is in the background here, and I want it to join in here. This one goes over the top of that. So let me show you how easy it is to do the back one, and then bring the fore one over the top of it. Get a little darker right in there. And I haven't even planned out where this is going to flip or how it's going to flip. I'm just going to let the canvas basically tell me what's going on. See how I'm going right over the top of that forearm right here? See, I'm turning this brush sideways so I can get right up to the highlighted yellow area of the, I call it the face because it's cool right there. All right, so now that I've got this all red, I'm going to add a touch of black right here just to separate that just a little bit more. Since the light's coming from here, I'm going to bring the shadow area up to here and bring it down like that. Now I'm going to wipe my brush and I'm going to blend it. Don't need no fancy blender brushes, this will work fine. Now we'll grab a little bit of orange and yellow. Go right up along this edge here. And then bring it all the way up to the tip of this. That looks really good. So I think, yeah, all right. Now what we're going to do is go back in with the three colors, the dark, the medium, and the orange. And we're going to go up here. Now this part of the arm here is flipped. So we're just going to go right over the top of that. In tattooing, we call that a cover-up. Come back down here with this. here to show the separation and give me a nice shadow. So I'm going to lighten that shadow up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull the red into the black, which lightens the black. If you pull the black into the red, it darkens the red. Now see, what I'm going to do is here, all along here, I'm going to put the tentacles. So I'm not going to do anything with that right now. We'll probably do that on the next show because that'll give this time to dry a little bit. I keep looking at that eye out of the corner of my eye here, and it looks a little menacing. So I'm gonna take this guy here, and I'm just gonna go in there and reshape that eye a little bit because it looks a little out of round to me. If you can see, I'm using kind of a wedge brush just to get that, barely touching it. Yeah, that looks better. It's coming along, yeah? Again, more reds, orange. Now, I do keep referring back to my picture here on my iPad. Because as many times as I've seen these things, I still need to make sure that I know what I'm talking about when I paint one. I strongly advise you, if you're painting anything, no matter how much you see something, you really don't know what you see until you're looking at reference. You see your mom every day, right? But I bet you couldn't draw a picture of her and get it exact. You know what? This will look really cool. Because they actually will spin this around. Like a hook, like almost like they're going to grab something with it. Yeah, that looks cool. So if you guys are watching this show and you have any questions for me, feel free to write to Naleo TV and they will relay the message to me and I can cover something on a future episode if you want. Or if you just want to tell me I'm doing a good job and you like what I'm doing, write to the station, let them know. I appreciate that. I know this part of the painting is probably boring because I've already covered just about everything I'm doing. I'm just reiterating by doing more of it. Now this one I'm just going to take right off the edge and then bring it right back in. This is where you want to make sure that you don't make it look flat. So we're just going to take some orange and some yellow, and we're going to come in here, and we're going to make sure it doesn't look flat. So this area right here is kind of a ridge. So we're going to bring that up like that. I apologize for my chair. It's an old chair and it likes to squeak a little bit. I know I've said this before, but I like working on flat area like this. That way the paint doesn't run. If you work on a canvas, sometimes it might, if you're working fast like I do, it might run. Okay, looks like we're coming up on the end of our time for today. So I'm just going to keep right on painting while I invite you to stay tuned for my next show, where I'm going to finish this octopus and hopefully teach you some more about this kind of stuff. So stay tuned for my next show. Thanks for watching. Aloha.
The preceding program was a production of Naleo TV.
Aloha! In 1994, Naleo o Hawaii was created to establish a solid foundation for public access television on the island of Hawaii. Naleo o Hawaii's ongoing mission is to provide our island with relevant and important programs, highlighting the diversity and the beauties of our communities. To educate our keiki, teach them how to communicate and tell their important stories using our media equipment. Also, to bring government meetings to our channel and provide ultimate transparency. Naleo TV created the first paid online training program in Hawaii, a way for producers to practice free speech and share their passion with state-of-the-art equipment and facilities. Over 25 years, Naleo TV has served our community with local productions in the public, education, and government sectors. Naleo TV staff is passionate and excited to continue to serve our community. Community access television at your fingertips and on demand. Naleo TV, Hawaii Island's community access television station. See it, hear it, and be inspired. Naleo TV.